Yeah, people. You do high definition algebra, isn't it? Isn't it? Alright. We are do today in algebra now. Light up the wheel. First. Get one. Alright. We have 72 trillion S. You get me? Other from 72 trillion S, we have 5S. You get me? Other from 5S, we have 40,000 S. You get me? Other from 40,000 S, we have pi S. You get me? Yeah. So we have 72 trillion S. And other from 72 trillion S, we have 5S. Other from 5S, we have 40,000 S. Other from 40,000 S, we have pi S. And we have a total of 72 trillion 105 dollars. We have a total of 72 trillion 100,005 dollars. We have a total of 72 trillion 100,005 dollars. We have a total of 72 trillion 100,005 dollars. Alright, so we have 72 trillion. Alright, so 72 trillion S. How many times 5 can go into 72 trillion S? Alright, now we have to use my brain. So we have, get your calculators out, get your phone out. Me I go use my brain. How many times that can go in at that? Alright, now we have 1 minute to find the answer. Me, I take 30 seconds. Alright, remember, and just put the 72. Alright, how many times 5 can go in a 72 trillion? Alright, 5 into 72 trillion. Well, that's 7 trillion 200 billion times 5 can divide it into 72 trillion. 7 trillion 200 and 7 trillion 200 billion times 5 can divide it into 72 trillion. Okay, 5 divided into 72 trillion, 5 divided into 72 trillion, 200 billion times. Alright, and that was quicker than 30 seconds. That was quicker than 20 seconds. That was quicker than 15 seconds. I found the answer. Anyways, now we'll find the answer towards the 72 trillion. Alright, so next let's go. Other from 72 trillion, we have other from 72 trillion S, we have 40,000 S. So how many times 5 goes into 40,000 S? Well, 5 goes into 40,000 S 4,000 times. 5 can divide it into 40,000 4,000 times. Alright, so now we have to pi. If we found out about 72 trillion and found out that 5 goes into 72 trillion, 7 trillion times with 200 billion, you get me? So 5 goes into 72 trillion, 7 trillion 200 billion times 5 divided into 72 trillion. Alright, from that we found out that 5 divided into 40,000 how many times? 4,000 times. Alright, so pi would eventually be 60,000. So how much time 5 goes into pi? 5 goes into pi 6,000 times. You get me? That's how many times pi 5 goes into pi. Pi is 60,000. If we have 72 trillion and other from 72 trillion we have 40,000, and other from 40,000 we have 5, and we have pi s. What would you think? Pi would have to be 60,000 if we have an equal sign of 72 trillion $105, $100,005. If we have an equal sign of 72 trillion $100,005, what would that mean? And we use the 40,000, left back 60,000, and we use the 5, and we use the 72 trillion, left back with 60,000. If we use the 40,000, the 72 trillion, and the 5, 60,000 left back, so pi would eventually have to be $60,000. You get me? And 5 goes into pi how many times? 6,000 times. That's how many times 5 divided into 60,000. 6,000 times. And 5 divided into 72 trillion. How many times, class? 5 divided into 72 trillion. 7 trillion 200 billion times. Alright? And what else? What else? Well, that's it for the first lesson. That was S. Now, remember we had the abbreviation with my name. SHF. So, the next lesson is H. Alright? And remember, class, 5 goes into 72 trillion. How many times 5 divided into 72 trillion? 7 trillion 200 billion times. And how many times 5 divided can divide it into 40,000? 5 divided into 40,000 4,000 times. And how many times 5 divided into pi, which is pi is 60,000? 5 divided into pi how many times? 6,000 times. Alright? Okay, so now we have lesson H. Alright? So we have 10H. Alright? And other from 10H we have other from 10H we have 10 trillion. Alright, so we have 10H and 10 trillion. You get me? And 10 trillion H. We have 10H, 10 trillion H, another from 10 trillion H, other from 10 trillion H, we have 20,000 H, Other from 20,000 h, we have pi h. Alright, so we have an equal sign of 10 trillion and 60,000 and $10. Alright, so how many times 10 goes into 10 trillion? Come on, class, so you have your calculators on your phone, so here I go on. I use my brain. How many times 10 goes into 10 trillion? Well, 10 goes into 10 trillion. Yeah, 500 billion times 10 goes into 10 trillion. That's how many times 10 divided into 10 trillion. 500 billion times. Alright, how many times 10 divided into 20,000? Well, 10 divided into 20,000, 1,000 times. Alright, how many times 10 divided into pi? Well, 10 divided into pi, 10 divided into pi 2,000 times, because pi is 40,000. If we have 10 trillion and 60,000 and $10, and we use the 10 trillion and find out that 10 goes into 10 trillion 500 billion times. You get me? And other from that, we use the 20,000 h and find out, say, yo, 10 goes into 20,000 h 1,000 times. Alright? And other from that now, we set now Obama left back with what? 40 with 40,000, which is pi. You get me? Cause pi would have to be 40,000. And we divide and find out, say, yo, 10 go into 40,000. How much time? Much time, class? 10 goes into 40,000. 2,000 times. Alright? And 10 goes in itself one time. So, you know that already. That I list. On the list. So, that is H. Lesson H. Now, lesson F. I remember abbreviation with my name, the tutor name, Sadiq Asani Francis, SHF. So, the third lesson. Alright? Now, we have 4 trillion, and other from 4 trillion, we have 4 trillion F. Other from 4 trillion F, we have 20 F. Other from 20 F, we have 40,000 F. You get me? Other from 20 F, we have 40,000 F. Yeah? Other from 40,000 F, we have pi F. You get me? So, alright, we have a total of 4 trillion and $120. Alright, so much time 20 can go in a 4 trillion. Well, 20 divided into 4 trillion, how many times? Let's see. 20 into 4 trillion. Well, that's 100 billion times 20 goes into 4 trillion. Alright? Now, other from that, how many times 20 goes into 40? in how many times 20 goes into 40? Alright? Well, how many times 20 goes into 40,000, let's say? How many times 20 goes into 40,000? Let's see. 20 into 40,000. Well, that's 1,000 times 20 goes into 40,000. 1,000 times. Alright, 20 divided into 40,000. 1,000 times 20 can go into 40,000. Alright, how many times? How many times 20 goes into pi? Well, 20 goes into pi 1,500 times, because pi is 60,000. You get me? If we have 4 trillion, you get me, and we use 20f and divide 4 trillion f, that means when we divide 4 trillion f with 20f and find out, say you're going to 4 trillion f, 20f goes into 4 trillion f 100 billion times. You get me? So when we set Obama and see that now, we are gonna have 40,000 f. You get me? And we set so now with 20 f and divide 40,000 f and find out, say it goes into 40,000 f 1,000 times. We are gonna left back with what? 60,000. So 60,000 would have to be pi. You get me? So when we set so now and say how much time 20 can go into 60,000, 20 divided into 60,000, 1,500 times 20 can divide it into 60,000. You get me? Yeah, that's how many times 20 goes into pi. 20f goes into pi f. So class, lesson finish. It's your tutor Sadiq Yassani Francis. You know, Fundu, Fandu, Fintua, Sindu, Fintu, Lavu, Lavi, Duvin, Gavunda. Love you. Miss Europe 2020, love you. Miss Europe 2019, love you. Kylie Jenner, love you. Selena Gomez, Avu, Bindu, Bandush, Kave, Avunda, Sivo. Love Lord Francois, our Lord Francisco, our Lord Francis. Sidiki Sonny Francis. One God Devil 666444 on Instagram. I'm out. You know.